Welcome back to AI Today. I'm your host, Dr. Alan Badeau, and this week we have Mr. Evan Chi with us, the founder of Regenesis. And you saw my clicking skills at their peak in the last segment. User error, of course, as you know. Like I tell you, we're doing this live, so you get to see all the challenges that I have when I'm trying to get to a site that works just fine when I don't mess it up. All right, so. Evan, you know, you were just starting to show what some of the campaigns can look like, and really some interesting, the tabs that are available when you actually have it set up correctly. That kind of helps. So why don't you lead us through kind of what that journey of the campaigns and the information that folks can get from that.
Sure, would love to. Would love to. All right, so I'm here in the campaigns tab. Can you see my screen, Alan?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So I'm in the campaigns tab here, and these are just a number of campaigns that I have running. So I can just pop into one of these campaigns, see what's going on here. And once I click into it, every campaign starts with excellent targeting. So we want to make sure that the targeting is spot on. Without that, the campaign's not going to perform well. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But every campaign starts with a very simple connection request. And we have a number of fields here that we can auto-populate to make it very customizable. And then this is essentially a series of, or a sequence of messages or a conversation that we're going to go ahead and have with that prospect. And typically along this conversation, we're going to introduce our products and services. We're going to qualify them as a good prospective client.
Mm-hmm.
And during this sequence, we can also take actions. For instance, we can view profile, like their posts, and follow them to make the action seem very human-like. And ultimately, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get them to schedule a call with someone on your team, someone on your sales team, to go ahead and then close the deal, right? And then here we're taking a step that's really interesting, and we're going to go ahead and scrape their profile on the internet. We're going to find their email, and then we're going to go ahead and send them an email as part of this sequence as well. So there's no need to go out and purchase an email list in addition or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so if we wanted to send additional emails as part of this sequence, we would go ahead and click add step, and we can go ahead and create another email as part of that same sequence.
Mm-hmm. Now, Evan, you on the dashboard, you showed a lot of different metrics. Is that easily customizable to a marketing, person's liking? Because everybody uses a little bit different thing. They've got to put a little special sauce on it, like always. What's it take for somebody new to be able to really adjust that?
Well, the beautiful thing about this is going to essentially have all of your performance metrics right here for you. So we'll be able to see which campaigns are performing and which aren't. So if I pop open these two campaigns, I can see my reply rate here is about 10% higher, 9% higher than here. So that tells me that I might be able to dial this campaign up, or maybe something that I'm using in this particular campaign is optimizing it for the response rate. And so I might want to take that learning and add it to this particular campaign as well. So it gives us a very easy way to continuously see what's going on and test.
Yeah, that's great. That is fantastic. As you're changing your campaigns and using the metrics, I love that, because it's real metrics and it's real ways that you can shape how your next campaign is going to look like. Tell folks about some of the underlying, and I'm not asking you to give out any corporate secrets, but help folks understand how you guys are doing some of that.
Well, there's a lot of AI. So we have a lot of automation built in here. That's
Mm-hmm.
something that we're very passionate about, is not only automating kind of like the functions within the core business, but ultimately trying to automate the sales functions of the business, because those are very core, to any revenue generating entity, right? So if you can add something in that automates the sales cycle, That's very powerful for any organization, especially if you can do that at a high level and it can perform. Then essentially you can plug this piece into any organization, and have it grow.
Yeah, yeah. So from a, even from an outreach perspective, as it is emailing, those different prospects that it has identified, and those kind of things. Is that pretty easy to customize for folks to be able to see what's going out, and how to respond, or maybe they've got a template or a corporate thing that they want to include in there? How easy is that?
Super simple. It's super simple. So we always want to make sure that our targeting is spot on. So we use LinkedIn Sales Navigator. That's a $99 a month to LinkedIn tool.
Hmm.
For first month's free. But we use that to really like filter and segment our lists. So we're able to like really dig in and create what's called a Boolean search, which is a scientific term for a search string, where
Yep.
we can really dig in to really, really find and target that avatar. So once we find and target that avatar, then it's really up to your messaging. So if you have an existing template that performs well, that's always where we like to start. And then we just continue to iterate off of that. And that's
Yeah.
really how it's done.
Yeah. And we've talked in terms of businesses, but we know that the reality is that your personal brand, even as you are trying to pursue a new career, as you're trying to go to different places, and maybe you don't want to have to go to the office 5 days a week, and you're trying to figure out how you can stay remote. you know Being able to point to something other than a resume now is more important. And I heard, I talked to a lot of HR folks, and really the directors and VPs, and their comments we're not looking at resumes the same anymore. We use those as a filter, and after that, you've got to have something that shows that you've actually done it, shows that your how you have applied things. That's a different ballgame for folks.
Exactly. It's a game changer. We know this for a fact. We have many clients who have outgrown their companies, which is pretty amazing. And some of these companies are very large companies. There's been so many situations where our clients will come up. They have a huge board meeting. Before the board meeting starts, someone comes across the room, shakes their hand, and said, "Hey, I really love your content. I follow you." And that is obviously a great that's a great kind of like starting point for a board meeting, right? It's kind of like takes the tension out of everything. And so we hear a lot of stories like this all the time. So I would say that, like, when it comes to brands, at least today, this is probably the most important, impactful thing that you can do.
Yeah. And so, can you go back and show your screen again? And really, we'll try to, walk somebody through from a personal perspective. And maybe, we were going to do this with mine, but maybe, let's do it with yours. How should they think about engaging with, whomever, whatever market, as they're trying to set up like a personal campaign, so that they can get you know, their information out?
Yeah, well, we have to remember a couple of different things. I mean, so there's a few different ways to get your information out, right? So the first way is going to be through content. Okay,
Hmm.
so whatever
Yep.
you're posting. So that's a really good way. The second way is the app that I just showed you. And that's because that as we send that connection request and that email, that's an offer of service. So they may or may not accept that. Okay.
Hmm.
And whether they do or not, it really doesn't matter, because what ultimately happens is they're still going to get dropped into your follower count as well. So what that means is that over time, they're going to be able to see your content. And if we're doing well with our content, if we're storytelling and presenting the right stuff, then ultimately they're going to go through that sales funnel with you, whether they like it or not, and they will and they will come to that buying decision at some point. And so that's really the power of content in social media.
Yeah, that's amazing. One of the things that I really like is, you really finally have you know, a source of truth, really, because everything goes into this. And it's how you manage things, it's how you set up things, it's how you are interacting with those end buyers that you're trying to get to. And now finally you've got a place where you can put it all in there, manage it and monitor it, and really get some useful statistics out of it. And so I want everybody to stick around, because if you don't, you're going to miss some important ways that you're going to be able to continue to grow and develop as Evan walks through some more features of Regenesis. Stay with us. We'll be right back after a couple of short messages.